Welcome, hola, what's good? Hey, y'all, hey. You are tuned in to Circle Up with Amanda Hurd. What's good, y'all? Welcome to year 2022. Happy New Year. We are so glad to be here with you all. I hope that everyone has made some phenomenal goals. You sat down and made some plans to reach those goals. I just know that this is going to be everything that you put into it. So, I hope that you just make the best of it. I know that over here we are working hard. We are looking for new people. So if you are interested in circling up with Circle Up, just sharing your gifts, all gifts are beautiful. All gifts are necessary. So whatever you have to offer, we are here and open, ready to have a convo with you to see where we can get you positioned. So feel free to reach out to us. Just DM us on our social media sites, Facebook and or Instagram. All we need you to do is send a hashtag CU22 and somebody will reach out to you ASAP. So this week we are still here in the relationship series. This week we're going to be talking about ToxicShip. This is one of the weeks that I could not wait to get to. So grab your snacks, drinks, and chairs, and let's get ready to dive right in. What's good? What's good? What's good? Today it is just going to be me. My husband is not in right now. He is probably doing something very, very fulfilling. He loves to just get his hands on anything that can beautify something, redo something, restore something. So I know he is out there just probably painting a wall or establishing something that we already had. I don't know, but he's super good at that, and so he is busy today. But we will definitely have him back on the next episode, or he may even be doing one of these episodes by himself coming up. So we just have so much going on. So I will let him know that you guys miss him. So let's dive right in, y'all. Listen. ToxicShip. First and foremost, what is ToxicShip and what brings about this entire episode? So, when I think about the word toxic ship, or when I think about toxic ships in general, I just think about those relationships that fail. I think about those relationships that are holding on by a thread, literally not because of missed growth problems, but literally because of somebody in the relationship choosing to go against the relationship, choosing to fail in commitment, choosing to fail in communication, choosing to fail in collaboration, just choosing to go against everything that the other person is trying to do, trying to move forward in. And so the crazy thing about this is sometimes it's not even the other person. Sometimes it's ourself. Have you ever thought that maybe you can be in a toxic ship with yourself? Have you ever thought about maybe it's the things that you decide to hold on to in your mind that is hindering you from being the best you, hindering you from giving the best parts of you to somebody else, hindering you from reaching that next level of greatness in your life? We have to get to a place where we let go of the things that are toxic to our relationship. We let go of the things that are not pushing us forward, that are hindering our growth, that are becoming stumbling blocks in our lives. We have to get to that place where we begin to say, okay, not anymore. I think that stepping into a new year, 2022, is the best time to really let go of a lot of things that have been holding us back. It's in these very things that kind of allow the different traumas enter into our lives. So it's important that we learn to let them go. It's important that as much as it hurts, as much as it may be hard or confusing, as much as we don't want to, we still find a way to. And I know I've been in situations where relationships that I've been in with people have been those that I just did not want to let go. They've meant so much to me, even though we weren't going anywhere. They meant so much to me because I invested so much into them. And although the investment was only on one end, that's what made it that much more difficult, because after you put so much into something, it's so hard for you to let it go. You want to fight for something in return, but there's a point that comes in our lives where that's done, that's over. That point, it kind of represents that place where you just know nothing is coming out of this. And the more you put in, the more you're losing. It's supposed to be the more you put in, the more you gain. And if you find yourself in a place where you're giving, 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 you're putting out, you're putting out, you're putting out, but nothing is coming back in return, then that's a red flag to toxic ship. That's a red flag to something that you need to prepare to cut out of your life. And these things sometimes take help. You know, these things sometimes take a little more than just ourselves. And so that's why I'm here today to, never mind that. But that's why I'm here today to kind of dig a little deep into those things. So, toxic ship is anything, anyone, including self, that invites a non supportive system. It's anything, anyone, including self, that is constantly pulling down, never lifting up. It's constantly draining. It's the energy that's always negative, pulling away. Everything sinks, nothing sails. And I'm pretty sure that for those of us who have lived long enough, and that does not mean that you have to be old, I'm just saying, those of us that has lived long enough has experienced moments where, if not other people, then ourselves, we've came to that place where the energy was just always low. We came to that place where we had these high hopes and high goals, but everything that the mind told us that we couldn't reach it, we're not going to do it, or we weren't good enough, or anything along those terms, we allowed those places to hinder us from moving forward. And so that place is uncomfortable. That place is not a place where we want to continue to live in. Because the longer we live in that place, the more we begin to believe those things. And the more we believe those things, the more we hinder our growth. And so one thing for sure is that we always want to be forever growing. We always want to be taking that next step. There's always prosperity that we're reaching for. And so I've never heard anyone, even in their worst state, say that this is where I want to call my last. You know, this is my final. This is the end of all things. And so there's always people that's reaching for the next, reaching for the better. And so when we find ourselves embedded into those places that are far from that, with that draining energy, then there's no moving. And as we learned in our first episode, that in relationship, that the ship should be sailing. We learned that the ship should be moving. If it's not moving, then there's no relation there. There's no relationship. If it's not moving, if it's stagnant, if it's staying still, then that's something that we need to really kind of dig into, and we need to really kind of figure out what's stopping us from going forward. And so those are the things that we really, really, really want to fight for in relationship. We want to fight for that ship to keep sailing. Something that is ideal that we should be searching for is a healthy ship. And a healthy ship has a really, really good source, or good, what do you want to call it? Portion of communication. It has a really good portion of commitment. It has a really good portion of collaboration. In a healthy ship, communication should always be vital. It should always be at the top of the line. Communication is one of those things that help us when we get to those places where maybe we feel like the ship is slowing down, where maybe we feel like we're not moving, we're not growing, where maybe we feel like we are, and we just, we don't want to come into any crazy bumps in the road and not be able to overcome them together. So communication is just an all around tool that will help us in relationship. When I think about a friendship, when I think about me and my best friend, it's communication that holds us together. When there's a gap in our relationship, like maybe we don't get to talk as much, or maybe some time has went by where we just got so busy on each end, and we haven't been able to spend as much as quality time with one another as we would love to. It's the communication that binds that gap. When I think about me and my children, as we talked about in episode 2 with like the family ship, it's the communication that keeps us together. It's the communication that is the glue that holds us together. It's the communication that voids out all toxic things. So if their feelings were hurt, if they had a misunderstanding, or maybe it was the other way around, maybe they said something or did something and we perceived it one way, it is in the communication that helps dismiss that toxicness. It helps dismiss those areas in our mind or areas in our heart maybe that we thought one thing was meaning something completely different. And so when we hold on to those things without getting to the root of those things, only negativity flows from them. And because of that, that's what causes that raw energy of just of drainingfulness to come about, because now you're upset, now you're mad, now you don't want to voice your opinion because you feel that every time you do, it comes out the wrong way, or every time something doesn't go your way without communication, you feel like you're no good or not good enough. And so it's literally that in communication, it binds all of those things together. So communication is definitely at the top of the line in a healthy ship. Commitment is very, very vital, very, very vital in relationship. You'll find in a toxic ship, if they, whoever they is, your other person or whomever the relationship you may be in with for this particular thing, if they are not committed to you and you are not committed to them, there will constantly be bumps in the relationship. Commitment is a very strong tool. Commitment is like the super glue, right? Commitment is one of those things that says no matter what happens, I'm going to be there for you. No matter what goes on, I'm going to be there for you. And a lot of times I found that it's easier to commit to somebody else than to commit to yourself. It's so easy to let self down over and over and over and over again because the lack of commitment. And whenever we do that, we fall back into that area of of toxic ship. When there's a lack of commitment to self, you are creating a toxic atmosphere in your life, and therefore, you don't build as you should. You don't grow as you should. You don't reach out as you should. You don't love as you should. You continuously beat yourself up because there's a lack there. Committing to yourself, it takes a lot. It takes a lot, but it is not so much that you can't do it. So be encouraged and be inspired to find area in your life where commitment can be added in, and do all that it takes to get that foundation of commitment. If you say that, I'm gonna, dress up every day this week, then commit to yourself. Like, make that commitment to yourself and hold yourself accountable for that. And I'm telling you, what the outcome brings forth is so much greater than when you lack that tool of commitment. And you'll find in toxic ships, commitment is never found. So it's so easy to be in a relationship with somebody and even have that vital tool of communication, but lack of commitment, and find yourself still tied up in a toxic ship, because we can talk and we can talk and we can talk all we want, but when your words are only words and there's no action, this is where the commitment comes in, and there's no action behind your words, you have now created an atmosphere of toxic ship. And that's what we're trying to pull away from here. We're not trying to say that, if you don't have these things, that you're not good, you can't gain them, or if you don't have these things, everything around you is going to fall. But we're saying that these are healthy tools to add into a relationships to make sure that that toxic ship is not able to sink right in. And so, communication, commitment, and collaboration. Collaboration is one of those things that I feel is extremely useful in a relationship, and it creates a useful habit in a relationship, because collaboration consists of us working together. So it's working jointly on an activity to produce or create something. And so whenever you have to come together and build, come together to grow, come together to get through something, come together to start something, come together to, just put something together, it establishes a healthy space in the relationship. You get to see each other in areas that maybe you have never seen before. You get to see how each other's thinking, how each other works. And I think what I love so much about collaboration is you get a chance to understand things that are not just on the outside, but things that are surfaced on the inside. And that's important in a relationship, because everybody isn't exactly what you see. What the naked eye sees is only that. What we are here to strive for is what's in the inside. What we're here to strive for is the things that are unseen, the things that really, really hide, because those are the things that will help us be able to continue the ship to sail. Those are the things that we can work with. Those are the things that we can trust with. Those are the things that become intimate, and we get to learn on another level, on a greater level. We get to learn all about who the individual is. And because of that, it helps in a great way. It helps with understanding. It helps with knowing that, okay, the reason why this person didn't do that is not because they're not committed to me, but it's because they don't have the ability to. It's not because they don't love me, but it's because they don't know how to love me. It's not because they can't stand me or they don't want to be around me, or it's something about me, but it's more so because of a personal issue that they have. And so what I love, once again, about collaboration is it really exposes those inner things. And so a healthy ship, again, is a really good combination of communication, commitment, and collaboration. Whenever one of the three of these things are lacked, I believe strongly that it's leaving room for a toxicness to come into. It's leaving room for that relationship to turn into something that it doesn't have to be. I encourage you to search your relationships again. I encourage you to go back and think about all of those that you are in relationship with, and really, really just take a moment to examine, like, do we have a great foundation of communication? Do we have a great foundation of commitment? Is collaboration in the midst of our relationship? And again, if you can't find these things, if these things are missing, if these things are just, nowhere to be found, then I really encourage you to take the necessary steps to begin to drift away from that relationship, cancel that relationship, because those things only cause harm. Whenever we find ourselves embedded in a toxic ship, harm is literally all around us. Harm is literally surrounding us, to the point of where we begin to look at those things and accept them for what they are. And a lot of times when we do that, we begin to move in that way. I hear a lot of times people say, this thing like, if you put one person in a room full of millionaires, then that one person will soon become a millionaire. If you put one person in the midst of you know a person in the midst of a room of people who are just doing nothing and consistently believing that is okay, and they're always voicing their opinions and their ways, and they're just living and going about, then that one person will adapt to that. And so same as this with toxic ship, if we allow it to come into our relationships and we begin to hold on to them and view them as what they are, and then we accept it. So now we're allowing it to be a part of our relationship. Then before we know it, we are okay in this thing, and that's what we become. This relationship becomes a toxic ship. It lacks in all the areas that can really help us move forward, really help us be all that we can be. And I just think that we're all worth way more than that. So um, that is literally just what I wanted to share with you all today. Be aware of toxic ships. Really, really dig deep. Dive into your relationships. See if there's any toxic areas. If there are and they're able to be fixed, then I encourage you to really push forward to fix those relationships. But if there's just signs of just no supportive systems, if there's just signs of always being pulled down, always being, beat down, plucked up, never uplifting, if the energy is always draining, if this ship never sails, but it's forever sinking, then this is a relationship I encourage you to flee from. Well, I hope this message was encouraging. I hope it was uplifting. I hope that there was something in this message that you are able to grab, you are able to take with you, you are able to really add it and apply it to your life, and that it moves you, grows you, and stretch you in the right direction of your greatness. As always, we encourage you, if you are not part of the Circle Up family, we encourage you to go over to Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, search up Circle Up _ AH or Circle Up with Amanda Hurd. Join the fam. We would love to have you. We cannot stress this enough. We love each and every member of the family that we have, and we just love to have all those that are willing to come. So yeah, just join us there. Follow, like, share, subscribe so you never miss a moment of all the great content that we have. Until next time, be blessed, guys. Bye.